Okay, so today I want to talk to you about how to plank and when's it correct to plank or when's it not correct to plank. It sounds like a trendy little exercise, and a lot of group exercise classes will use planks because it basically is just hard, all right? But you can make any exercise hard, and that does not mean that it's necessarily good for you, all right? So the difference between, I guess, an Instagram trainer or someone who's new to the strength game and someone like me who's been in the field for 20 years is I'm going to be very specific on why we do certain things. So I'm not going to have 15 people lined up doing planks, okay, and doing all kinds of weighted activities on their back to make it harder, or telling them to like move balls from side to side when everybody's planking like this, okay? And they're like, oh, well, I'm planking like that. There's a lot of different variations of planks, but the whole point of it is to keep your core stable during a dynamic movement, which is way later in the progressions, okay? So the first thing we're gonna start with in a plank is actually a plank on the knees, all right? So Candace, can you get on your knees and then on your elbows as if like you're gonna do a plank, okay? All right, so turn sideways so they can see you all the way. All right, so what we're looking for right here is a good straight back, okay? This is your first variation for a plank, all right? This is where you need to focus on getting someone able to stabilize their lower back and their whole body as one working system, at least for 45 seconds to a minute. If you can't do that, then you need to just stay in this variation. Adding weight to your back, making them do crazy exercises with bands and balls is not going to be the next progression, all right? Okay, now we're going to go to the standard plank that everybody sees. Go ahead and go onto your toes, all right? No, you go back on your elbows. Okay. That's fine. Okay, so this is the standard plank that you normally see, okay? This would be our next progression, okay? Same thing. We want to make sure our back is flat. We want to make sure that our body is under control. If you can hold it for 45 seconds or to a minute, there's no need to keep holding it. You can then move on to the next progression. Adding weight right here or making them do crazy exercises is not the additional effort. You're actually losing stability and control over your core, all right? So that would not be something you want to do. What we're going to do now is go to the high plank. So now she would go basically into like a push-up position, okay? Now, here's your next variation, all right? Everything stays the same, 45 seconds to a minute, okay? Keeping control of the core, keeping stability over the trunk itself, okay? Now we can finally get to the next progression of movement, okay? At this point, Candace can do what we call rocks. So she's gonna try to lift this hand up off the ground slightly, and she's allowing herself to rock from side to side so she can get that off, okay? At that point, if she can manage this system without overcompensating and turning too much, then she would try to stay straight and just lift the hand up off the ground, okay? You saw how fast it went up and down? Okay, so you can come back down. From this progression, I can probably give you, no, you can relax. From this progression, we can probably go through another 10 to 15 different types of progressions until you really actually learn how to plank correctly. I didn't even talk about stacking the rib cage over the hips yet. I haven't talked about how the pelvis is supposed to be shifted. There are so many things that go into planking, yet you'll go on social media, you'll go into a group classes, and you see everybody planking and everybody doing it wrong, okay? So what really happens is basically just improper motor patterns. So you think you're so cool because you can plank for 2 minutes and roll a ball back and forth as you sloppy hang all over the place. You think you got a nice, strong, tight core or a good, strong lower back. You go home, you pick up your baby, you go from one side to the other, and then, you blow a disc out, or you pull a back muscle, or you pulled your hamstring, okay? It's because you're not exercising correctly, all right? And when you exercise incorrectly, You program the body to move incorrectly, and so which means this carries over into life, and you're going to continue to move incorrectly. And so what happens is the body is not functioning like it's supposed to, and so the improper movement patterns are going to continue, and the muscles that are being used that are not supposed to be being used are going to get overloaded, and then that's how injuries happen. People don't get back injuries because their core is weak. That used to be a very, very common theme. It made very good sense when you just kind of think of it in a normal context, okay? But how many times have I seen an athlete or myself hurt my lower back? My core is not weak. I've been lifting since I was 17 years old, okay? I've squatted up to over 500 pounds. I've deadlifted over 600 pounds multiple times in my life. I've done martial arts for the past 15 years. If I hurt my back, it is not because my core is weak. It's because I improperly use the wrong muscles at the wrong time, okay? So it's not about, oh, I need a strong core. It's about a functional core, about a body moving correctly, anatomically together, okay? And so planking should be used and thought of in the exact same manner. It should be used not as just a ab exercise, but as a functional tool to get the body working together, all right? I hope this helps you out. Go ahead, hit me up with some comments or complain about my video, whatever you want, it's no big deal. And if you have any questions, I will be more than happy to answer them for you. Nice 7.